Srimad Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is the most widely read and revered religious text of the world. The state of Haryana is proud of the fact that this legendary epic was orated by Lord Krishna at Jyotisar, Kurukshetra, which is located in Haryana. Further, it was also compiled by Ved Vyas on the bank of river Saraswati, which was once a perennial river of this state. Hence, the greatest philosophy of life is associated with Haryana because Lord Krishna had given the supreme sermon to Arjuna on this land. This poem is a long poem which in fact describes the gist of life, karma, and duties of an individual. Lord Krishna narrates to Arjuna how he should do his duty and become a part of the ultimate soul. This poem forms the 16th chapters, Adhyayas, of the Mahabharata written by Ved Vyas. It is in the form of Sanskrit hymns. Let us study in brief what the Bhagavad Gita tells every human from the world. The Gita had little religious impact until Shankaracharya's commentary appeared. From this time onward, it had an important influence on Hinduism. Krishna, presented in the poem as Vishnu in the flesh, is the spiritual teacher who recites the Gita. Most of the Bhagavad Gita consists of dialogues between Krishna and Arjuna on the battlefield on Kurukshetra. That is where the armies of the royal cousins, the Pandavas and the Kauravas, face each other for the decisive battle to end their feud. The Bhagavad Gita debates the right and wrong of conflict. It also discusses a person's duty to himself or herself, his or her fellow human, and God. It explores God's relationship with humans. It shows how people can begin to understand God and thus free themselves from the burden of karma. Krishna and Arjuna are not the only speakers in the Bhagavad Gita. King Dhritarashtra and the father of the Kauravas asked the charioteer Sanjay to describe the course of the battle for him. The remainder of the Bhagavad Gita deals with the report of Sanjay, who describes what he sees in a trance. When Arjuna watches his cousins and brothers preparing for the battle and is greatly troubled, he asks Krishna, who acts as his charioteer, how he can justifiably take part in a battle because it must be wrong to slay his kinsfolk for the sake of power. He would rather die than kill his relatives. Due to this dilemma, he throws down his weapons and gives up the fight. Krishna thinks Arjuna is merely showing signs of weakness, but when he realizes the prince is genuinely anxious about where his duty lies, he speaks as God Vishnu. He explains the nature of the Atma. Krishna instructs Arjuna about three ways to have union with God. The first is Karma Yoga. Every person should do his or her duty according to caste, without hope of personal benefits or ambition, but with faith in God. Those who go through the motions of performing rituals without care or interest, or do their work only for profit, will never be released from the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. The second way is Jnana Yoga, the way of knowledge. Through this method also, the contemplative person can seek union with God. Such person has great self-control and spends much of his or her time in meditation. Through God's grace, he or she will come to realize that Brahman and Atma are one. The third way is Bhakti Yoga. This one is the most important contributions made by the Bhagavad Gita to the development of modern Hinduism. Krishna becomes the Ishwar who may be worshipped as spirit or an image by his followers. Krishna then reveals himself to Arjun as Lord Vishnu. Arjun is overwhelmed and bursts into great hymns of praise. He is fearful and ashamed because he had addressed Krishna as his friend. But Krishna is merciful and returns to human form to comfort Arjun. He explains to Arjun that his majesty is too great for human beings to behold. Krishna continues to teach Arjun about the nature of a man. The Bhagavad Gita provides a summary of Hindu religious thoughts and practice. Much of it is based on the Upanishads. These are the parts of Vedas, the oldest sacred books of Hinduism. It gives a methodology for developing brief as well as for foregoing a personal relationship between the deity and his worshipper. It offers a new approach to full perception of and absorption in Brahman.